I've got lamb belly up for table 32.
Rye is the perfect neighborhood bar. Elevated, casual fine dining.
I would almost call it like creative comfort food.
The tartar for 43.
It's just an amazing experience.
All coming from the teamwork of Taylor Rause, Tanner Agar, and Nick Kane. Good buddies who joined forces and dove right in.
I was living in North Carolina.
We opened Rye 3 days after he moved to Texas.
I mean, we crashed open the place.
What are we gonna make today?
Pork belly lollipops.
The lollipops are an absolute showstopper. When you add the squirt of orange on them, it just takes it to a new level.
Why do we have 2 pork bellies?
We want enough thickness for when we are punching our lollipop shapes. We're gonna use something called transglutaminase, an enzyme that binds proteins together. They'll set in the cooler overnight. Now we're gonna make the dry rub for our pork. Brown sugar, chili powder, kosher salt,
Onion powder?
ground white pepper, ground coffee. We'll build our braising pan, mirepoix, oranges that have been charred. Heavy on the rub into the pan here. Get the rest of it. Orange juice and bourbon. 350 degrees for 4 hours. And then we'll strain off this liquid
Press this.
overnight in the cooler.
Is this moist and juicy, or what are we at now?
It better be. We'll cut off this end.
We're gonna punch.
5 per order.
Everything we have done has generated this.
We'll season them again with the rub and a little oil to sear them off. And an orange. Deglaze with our pork belly braising liquid.
Serving it with
Fresh garlic, local rainbow chard, and then that braising liquid. And then I'll salt. Beautiful lollipops. This gets served on the side and then squeeze it over everything.
the shard. Is it bad if I tell people to come down here and just order buckets of this? You delivered. The pork is juicy, tender, braised orange over the top of it is a must-have. That's not a small plate.
Yeah, we
That's 10 ounces
encourage
of belly.
people to share.
I'm going to share this with you. Order your own, pal, because that's outstanding.
Here's your pork belly lollipops.
They're tender, they're crispy, they're fatty.
The char on it is fantastic.
Yoni and Becca, very good friends of mine, living down here in Dallas. I had to call, get some recommendations of where to go, and they said Rye,
It's both a destination and a neighborhood restaurant.
but chef.
But chefed, yeah.
Hot dogs with Icelandic mustard.
They are definitely big fans of different styles of plating.
Plating 2 sauerkraut cakes.
Sauerkraut and chocolate cake, it's not the first things that you think go together, but it's bliss.
Really sauerkraut
So-
into a chocolate cake.
Into a
That
chocolate-
sounds like a dare.
This is very traditional kraut, shredded cabbage, kosher salt. Mix it by hand. Add it to our tub. Weigh it down.
We're gonna let this go
7 to 10 days.
out and about with my sauerkraut. Woo.
We'll make our cake. All-purpose flour, dark cocoa powder, baking soda, and kosher salt. Whisk that all together. Sift it.
There's gold in them hills.
Set it off to the side while we cream, butter, and sugar. And we're gonna add our eggs in, one by one. Mexican vanilla, dry mix in.
We are adding coffee.
Strong brew.
Was this like Tournament of Champions in your own kitchen? Sauerkraut, coffee, a gym sock, make a dessert.
Kraut in.
Get this into the tray.
Put it in the oven. 350 degrees, 30 minutes. Now we're gonna make brandied cherry and white chocolate ganache. We'll start by melting our white chocolate with warm, heavy cream. Cherry puree, kosher salt, beet juice.
Because you want that color, because the cherry's not going to give it to you.
Stick blend it.
You could cover shoe leather with that. It tastes good.
We're gonna make a cherry gastrique.
Oh,
and
yes, we are.
a Swiss meringue. Dried cranberries, cherry juice, vegetable stock,
Vegetable stock?
water. Rehydrate those cranberries, and it'll be ready to blend with sherry vinegar, salt, and xanthan gum. Our Swiss meringue,
Double boiler here.
sugar, egg whites. Dissolving the sugar, bringing it to 165 degrees. Gonna let it aerate. Add our Mexican vanilla.
The cream of tartar in.
Once that's whipped up, we'll add it to a piping bag. Here it is, and we are going to rip it apart.
What? Okay, I did not see that coming at all.
Swiss meringue, a nice little toast. Cherry puree, brandied cherries. Crumble, it's gonna be dehydrated milk, flour, butter, beet powder. Ganache, white chocolate.
That's gorgeous. The funky fermentation creates the funkalicious baboom.
Yeah.
The ganache is nice to just float in when you want it. That meringue on top of it puts it at a 10-1. My favorite part is the dried cherry gastrique. And that right there is a grand slam. Well done.
Dark chocolate sauerkraut cake.
As weird as it sounded, one of the best desserts I've ever had in my life.
Look at this meringue. It's insane.
I got meatballs for 35.
How could you not want to come here?
Every time you walk in the door, it always feels fun.
The level of work and energy and creativity that you guys are putting together, I mean, you got a big imagination, bro. Pretty next level.